Welcome to the Spath Meshi podcast. I am Spath, and this is
Meshi.
And tonight our topic is League of Legends. So for tonight,
Yes.
we actually brought in a special guest because I'm a noob, and Meshi, I don't know how you want to consider yourself.
Adequate.
So we have adequate and a noob. So we brought in an expert, or the closest thing we can get for an expert.
On short notice. I tried to get Double Lift in here, but yeah, he didn't respond.
I just don't think you offered him the bribe. I mean, talk to him nicely enough.
Probably. But anyway,
Let's introduce our nice little guest.
yes, we should introduce our lovely guest here this evening. Some may know him as Lol Surge. Some may know him as Haste Feet. Others may know him as Pony Chan. But we will refer to him as simply Aaron. Hello, Aaron.
Hello.
Welcome to our very organized podcast.
So organized. So good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, Aaron, let's hear a little bit about yourself. What's your experience with League of Legends? Like, why exactly did we bring you in here? So, tell us what you know.
Well, I mean, you know I've played a lot of League of Legends because I now have cancer. All
What?
the
Whoa,
bastards
whoa,
play that game. Yeah, cancer joke. We're keeping this a little timid. I've been playing for a long time since I remember Urgot coming out. I think I started playing as soon as Zhao came out.
Okay.
So it's been a while. I used to play back when a common build on Master Yi was like Ninja Tabby and 5 Phantom Dancers. Because Dodge was still in the game.
Dodge was a thing, oh god.
Yeah, I tried replicating that build on a Moo when I first started playing because I thought that was like the only good build because I thought it was like an MMO or something, and that was wrong. I don't know. I was plat last season, and technically, I guess the season before, if you count getting it right after the season ended. And I don't know. I'm playing a lot of 80 carry recently. So.
And just as a reference, Urgot came out in 2010, so
I have no idea. It's been a while.
I decided to look it up just to be certain to see what time it was.
Nice fact checking there. That's impressive work.
I try. So that's our expert. Again, he said he was in plat. That's what, 2 below the top, or is that 1 below?
Well, last season it went bronze, silver, gold, then platinum, diamond, challenger.
Okay.
So
It's not to brag, but technically, I guess it's like top 10% or something like
Yeah.
that. Or
I think it was actually
maybe
even
more. It might be.
Not
It
to
might be
brag
lower,
or
it might be lower than.
anything. You know.
I think it was because the last season when I looked, I think I read that in the NA, not worldwide, but in NA servers, gold was actually the top 10.
Oh, then maybe it's.
It was
You're
top
like
2,
the
I
top-
think.
Wow,
Oh, wow.
Top 2.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people playing, but still, that is...
And I suck at the game too, so I don't.
Oh, shut your mouth.
Can confirm, does suck.
Sir, if I played the game competitively, I would be in wood tier, which doesn't even exist, okay?
As someone who played in bronze, maybe just this season due to awful placement matches, trust me, you're better than a lot of the bronze players out there. Trust me.
There's actually a big issue going on right now with people using bots in ranked games.
Wait, bots in ranked games?
Yeah, I don't think they get very far. I think they make it to like bronze 1, which is actually better than some people. But usually they just get stomped and things like that. I mean, like they'll have like Soraka bots that'll just heal or anti bots that'll just cycle spells. But
I just can't imagine it. I mean, we have the verse bot option already, and those bots are just terrible, even on intermediate difficulty.
well,
And they-
technically, if they write the AI for the bots in League kind of suck. Because
Yeah,
if
that's
you
true.
compare it to like Dota and other MOBAs, I don't know. I've only played Dota in comparison. At least Dota 2. The AI like goes for the throat. If you don't put it on the easiest difficulty and you suck at Dota, let's say, then have a bad time.
Yeah.
Well, they also have scripting, because I think we've been in a couple matches where I'm 90% sure that at least one of the players is scripting in that, which
Yeah.
I haven't heard much about that lately, but they
I haven't
do.
seen much of it. Vayne's apparently a common script champion. Syndra is. Vayne's really annoying to play against when they script because they just. Every single time they tumble, they get the auto attack off like instantaneously, and every single time like they can auto attack, they auto attack, which is really really annoying because Vayne just does absurd amounts of damage when she gets a couple auto attacks off. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did play that match where you were pretty certain that the Vayne was doing it, and then also we played one where it was weird. It was a Cassiopeia.
yeah,
I
those are
remember correctly.
common too, and so are Xerath scripters.
I can see that.
But I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. We're talking about the game, and I don't know if everyone actually knows how League of Legends works or what kind of game it is. So I guess our best start would actually be to explain what is a MOBA, what is League of Legends. Basically, what it. Or Meshi, do you have a better description before I start anything? Because you know how terrible I am with descriptions.
Sure. Okay. Well, it's obviously definition of MOBA is massive online battle arena, not multi. Sorry. So the easiest way to describe it is it's generally two teams. In fact, I think all MOBAs currently out are two. I don't think there's any with three. That'd be kind of cool.
Multiplayer online battle arena.
Multiplayer. Thank you.
So it was multiplayer.
Yeah. So there's two teams in essence, and you have your base, and the objective is to take the enemy's base. So it sounds pretty much like Capture the Flag at this point, or something like that in a first-person shooter, but that's not the case. So at least with League of Legends, how it works is we're just going to describe the basic game, not every game mode, because that'd be ridiculous. So there's 3 lanes, and they have towers in the lanes, and the objective for your team is to destroy the towers, so you can make the way to their base, so you can blow up their nexus, which is just the objective. And minions spawn automatically. There's little NPCs that just sit there and blindly attack whatever's in front of them pretty much. And you kill minions, you get gold, you level up your character, you buy items to make your character stronger, you kill each other. That's the basic objective of it. I mean, there's other things, nitty gritty, but that's the basis of the game.
So, too long didn't read version. You kill each other, you claim the other person's base, you try to win.
Yep, and defend your own base.
Yeah.
And yell at people who are scrubs.
Yep.
That's only you
That's-
guys. Only you
That's
guys.
Deal with toxic players.
I'm not.
That's
pro
80%
enough
of the
for that
game.
yet. I'm still in the mode where I blame myself for everything and I don't care about everyone else.
Well, it's more the toxic players. A bad player, whatever, it happens. The toxic players are just the ones that, drives me nuts. And when they're bad and toxic, that's just like the worst combination.
Oh god.
I've seen it. I've seen things, man.
Fire
And
are the worst.
we actually sort of talked about that a bit in the last podcast, the toxicity of just online games in general. So it's understandable, and it obviously leaks in this game. I think it leaks a little more into this game because of how competitive it is too. So
It's competitive by nature and it's free to play. It's like the two biggest toxic hotspots right there.
that's another thing I think we should hit on this at least some point tonight. The free to play aspect. I know we touched a little bit on it like last week, but
It's extremely
still
free.
free.
Very.
Ask Meshi how much he spent on the free to play game. that we
Ask
love
Aaron how
playing.
much he spent.
0, nothing.
Uh huh. I'll believe that when I see
I
it.
don't want to know.
Exactly.
But we want to know. The people
Want
want
to know how many skins in the store I got right now?
If you have a number, I would like to hear that number.
I would love to hear the number. Like if you have it
See.
just off the top of your head.
How many not owned? I know Yuri has. Let me count it. Those two.
But trying to think of what the best topic to start out with would be honestly.
Well, why don't we start off talking about favorite champions and/or role?
And that's perfectly
Because-
fine.
It's a good thing to start off with.
Let's
So,
go from best player to worst player then.
all right. So, Spath, you're first.
Whoa! I guess worst and best is probably better.
Okay. Just really quick, 84 unowned, which isn't bad.
84. Okay, so if there's 120 so there's 120 champions right now.
Let's assume at least like 2 skins for each.
Yeah, each one has at least 1 skin, but majority of them have minimally 2.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say at least 2 each. That's 240 skins. A lot of them have like 5 or 6 though. So we'll round up to 300 skins. So I have a possible 300. You're missing less than a third. And there's probably actually more than 300.
That's a thing. I don't know how you pay for that. Then again, I don't know how I pay for my addiction, so...
It for 5 years.
Yeah, it's a long time to... And there's some of them are free, and people could gift it and everything else, so...
Yeah. So it was, what? Favorite champion, favorite role, and...
Maybe why, if you want.
Why? Oh god, that's a lot.
If you want, you don't have to do why.
Favorite role is, as much as I hate to say it now after hating it for so long, is ADC, just because it's, or I should say, what is it, marksman now? Yeah.
It's ADC.
So basically the role of the ADC is just you're a ranged character with a lot of damage, but you're super squishy, and I hated it for many years. Mostly because it was so squishy, and I started out in the top lane, which was a tankier role. But I like it now because there's a lot more strategy to it, because it's not just you're working with your lane partner, you're working with a support. And so I've kind of started to like it. Granted, I'm not good at it, but I still like it. Favorite champion is actually not an ADC, it's going to be Wukong, because he was the first champion I really played. He's not exactly complicated, but he's not something that a lot of like early people pick up, and so it was fun just kind of messing around with him my first like week or 2 when I played him, because he was like free, and I've just always enjoyed his design and whatnot, because he's kind of like Sun Wukong from the Journey to the West or Journey to the East, but yeah,
Or DBZ.
Or Goku from DBZ, yeah. There you go. Actually, no, it'd be DB.
Ah, yeah, it has the power pole.
Yeah, have that power pole. Meshi, your turn.
All right. Favorite role? I'll do that first. Changes every season and pretty much from like patch to patch almost. But for the most part, my favorite role is top lane. Just because generally top lane you're left alone on an island to do whatever you want. And a lot of times it's tankier, like bruisers or tanks played up there, and I kind of like that. You know, being the
alone, man.
Yeah, you know, junglers don't gank top as much as the other lanes, and there's not so much roaming up the top generally. It's nice. You get to just kind of peacefully farm and try to kill your lane opponent. Although if people take ignite up top lane, they're scumbags, but that's a different story.
That's a story for another time.
So that's generally my favorite. As for favorite champion, I don't know why I posed this question, because I can never pick one. I enjoy too many, but
oh come on, there's gotta be one. I mean, you have so many voices for them and so many personalities when playing them.
Right. I mean, you go back a year or 2 ago, I would have definitely said Mordekaiser hands down, but he's kind of fallen out of favor just because of the way the game's evolved. So I guess my favorite. And I don't play him as much anymore because they kind of nerfed him a little bit, and I haven't been doing that well on him, so I haven't been playing as much. But I think it's Gnar.
Gnar.
Or, I'm sorry, Gnar!
There you go. He's adorable.
Yeah, he's adorable until you get full fury. Then you transform into like a kill machine.
Still adorable. I mean, a killing machine can't just stop being adorable. I mean, it's not a thing.
That's debatable. He like grows to 10 times the size, you know. Starts roaring. Yeah, I guess you could call that adorable. Throws boulders. But yeah. Aaron?
So what were the
favorite preferred role,
favorite champion, and why if you want to? This was gonna be hard for you, I think.
Well, lately it's been AD carry. It's like my main right now. Favorite though is not ADC. It's actually support. So I don't know. I just really like bot lane. That's been my main for like since I started playing for the most part.
Is
After
there
like
any
season,
like specific reason for it?
I think just well, because I played it for so long, I sort of know the lane the best. I know the matchups the best. Which is why like sometimes I feel bad for people I bot lane with because I will like I will knowingly, but like also kind of unknowingly because of how I guess direct I can be. I will like criticize what people do and like every move. And I don't know if Meshi's heard that in Skype calls when we play games, but it happens sometimes.
Yeah, I've noticed it.
And that's just because I've played the lane for so long. So I'd like will try to just say like, okay, we can't trade now. Like stop trying to go in, stuff like that. So I just know the lane.
And while you yell at me
really
for
well,
doing that, I'm going full on in and dying 1,000 times.
Yeah, I've gotten good at farming though. So like I try to get like 150 to 180 or more CS by 20 minutes. So I try to just it's more it's easier to get the farm than it is to get the kills in terms of consistency and the chance that you're gonna like actually get the gold.
And going the safer route like that is definitely a good idea.
Yeah, it's just how I play. I mean, why AD carry in terms of like why am I maining that now? Again, not to like brag or anything. I think that out of all the people like I play with, I'm probably the best at it right now. Just probably due to the fact that that's all I've been playing. So I mean, I will say I suck at top or mid compared to some people I play with, and jungle compared to some people I play with. But I try to play all roles every once in a while, and like if I play top, I like playing the tankier tops just because I love hitting late game and just walking around like I don't have to care. It's literally like you just walk around. That's all you do. Like, well, what are you doing in the team fight? I don't know, walking, moving around, not caring. And I mean that's how I play my mids or my tops and jungles. And mid, I like playing the normally. I don't even know. I hate mid. Screw that lane.
Amen.
See. And for favorite champion right now, I'll do a lane by lane. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah, that works. Go for it.
AD carry right now. Graves for sure.
That's good. I can answer that one for you.
As we can see, his avatar right now.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Support. It's between Blitz and Thresh. Blitz is really fun sometimes, but like he's not good all the time because if your AD carry sucks, you'll accidentally hit their support and your AD carry will still go in if it's like Leona or something like that. And if that happens, you generally want to just like back off unless they're somewhat low beforehand because I hate to say it, but even if you're ahead in damage as an AD carry, if you're in lane and you get CC'd, probably gonna die if they capitalize. Let's see what else is there. Mid lane. I hate that lane.
I was gonna say, is there even
I
one?
hate that lane. Wow, you
Xerath? Xerath maybe? Ari? Xerath or Ari? I don't really know.
LeBlanc?
I don't like LeBlanc. She's too confused. No, Zed. It'd be Zed. Okay, there we go. It'd be Zed.
There you
I forgot
go.
about
gotta
Zed.
have that ninja in there somewhere.
He's tons of fun. And then jungle, it's probably Lee Sin just because I enjoy that champion. Because of his mobility and damage, and because everyone hates playing against him. Top lane, it's a toss-up between Mundo and Yasuo. And Zed.
Zed everywhere.
Zed top.
Zed in all lanes.
Do you
Zed
play
AD
support
carry now,
Zed
Grace.
and ADC Zed?
I wouldn't. No, I couldn't do that to my precious bot lane.
I mean, I saw a Rengar support before, so I mean, it's not completely
awesome.
unheard of.
Sir, I did
annoying.
Darius
Like,
support
it's-
once, okay?
Brother's bot lane.
Oh yeah, Renekton Nasus bot lane. What can go wrong?
So
A lot.
you touched on a good point of champions you find fun compared to champions that you think do well. What makes you consider a champion fun? Like, is it just like basic mechanics? Is it the reward for doing things? What exactly makes a champion fun to you?
Who's that aimed at?
You.
Oh, for me, because I hate losing, generally a champion's ability to win, and like you could win on any champion, it's just harder to do it on some. It's like everyone's technically kind of viable except for like Evelyn. And
Urgot.
Well, Urgot just got buffs. I like Urgot. I don't know.
That's true. He did just get buffs.
Certain champions are gonna be like it's gonna be harder to win on certain champions. I forget who has like the really low win rates right now, but like I personally like love Zac and get a really low win rate. But I don't know. It's just my style of play is like either I'm playing AD carry and I like mobile champions. They're champions with some mobility because I like kiting around and stuff like that. So like for me, AD carries that are fun are like Graves and Ezreal and Jinx if you get kills. Sometimes Sivir because we're all. But we're tanky champions that could just walk around and not care, like I said before, because they're awesome and not care.
So basically, you have a big thing for mobility, whether it comes in the form of like movement, like through speed, or just movement in a I don't give a shit what you do to me kind of sense.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
If you're more mobile, you have more chances for outplay. So
yeah,
that's really what I like. I like outplaying people and then taunting them on their dead corpse.
Wow, you're as bad as the teabaggers in shooter games.
No, I don't actually taunt people. I go for CS if I kill them.
Yeah. He taunts them by killing their minions over their corpse. Look at me farming your minions.
Pretty much. Look at your turret killing the minions you're not getting. Yeah, that's pretty much what I find fun.
I think the best taunt of all is when their Nexus explodes. That's the best one.
No. The best taunt is when your Nexus explodes. Because you're just showing him you don't give a shit.
I mean, I could debate that topic.
Yeah, the best taunt is when you crush people, and then as you're destroying your Nexus, you surrender.
That's what I call a dick move.
Dick move. I think we need a button to push that just plays that over the...
I could make this a thing.
You need like a fart button?
Except for just this dick move.
It's a dick move button. The
but
dick
it's
button.
like a...
Wait a minute.
Like a foghorn thing, you know, like a... You
know. I need to work on like a soundboard. I'll see what I can find.
Be fantastic.
I need that, and I need a... What was it? The WoW counter?
WoW counter?
It was every time like WoW was mentioned or something like that.
Oh! Yeah, that should probably be a thing. Because it'll probably be at least once per... See, we already did it. We already did this one.
On my post. Well, you guys discuss League of Legends while I fix things real quick.
Okay. So, I mean, we've touched favorite lanes of champions here, and what makes champions fun. So, why don't we speak about current champions? This is a topic which I think I already know what your answer is, Aaron. So, you know, Riot does a pretty good job of balancing as best they can. I mean, it's difficult to keep things completely balanced, but they do a pretty good job of it, I think. Do you agree?
In recent years, yeah. Before that, no.
Right. Yeah. I mean now, yeah.
They're touching. They're basically doing what they should be doing, which is instead of nerfing a champion's strengths, you just make its weaknesses more noticeable, and that allows for counterplay. So it's healthy. When they add unreliability to certain champions, it's also good because everyone needs a little unreliability. Then you can just walk up and do whatever you want each time. It's a little OP, depending on what it is you're doing.
All right. So that brings me to this question. And do you feel, and again, I think I know what you're going to say here, are there any champions right now that definitely need some nerfs to them?
Like hard nerfs or what?
Well, just something that's like, you know, when you play, just like, okay, that's a little ridiculous. Like
Nidalee right now.
I knew that was coming.
Vi just got nerfed, so I don't think she needs them anymore, but we'll see. I almost want to say Cassin's going to need more nerfs because of what they did. Do you buff him?
Yeah, we haven't seen it live yet, but just from watching the videos, it looks a little scary.
Sorry, I fell out of the conversation. Who's getting buffed and who's getting nerfed? What?
Just speaking about things that people always think need some nerfs.
Let's just see where Bard is.
He hasn't been released yet. I'm totally taking him top lane. I don't care what you say.
He's been released.
Well, wait, did that just happen today then?
Yep.
Yep.
May as well update my client while we're here.
I need to get him now. I kind of want to play him like jungle or something. If he could jungle, that'd be funny.
I don't think that's gonna be viable.
That'd be hilarious if it was. It would.
Top lane Bard. It's gonna be a thing.
Because he
ratios
so much
aren't
as it
that
is.
good though. His clear would be really, really slow as well. If his heal offered something instead of movement speed, like if it offered any stats that were offensive at all, he could have a decent clear maybe, but it doesn't. So he doesn't have a good clear.
Oh god.
Now, are there any champions you completely hate?
Riven, just because I have no idea how to play against her. Nidalee, because I hate her. I'm trying to think who else. I guess I also hate Twisted Fate sometimes. And that's just because every single time I lock in Vayne first pick, they'll like pick Twisted Fate, and once he has his ultimate, he could just sort of poop on you, so...
Always distracted. Always distracted.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's more of a matchup thing, but I see what you're getting at.
It just ruins my fun each time I try to have it.
Yeah. It's like anytime someone picks Yorick, nobody's having fun that match. Not even the Yorick player.
I don't have that much of a problem against Yorick though, because I think like the last couple times I played against Yorick, I just played Zed top, and for some reason Zed's able to kill him. I think it has to do with the fact that Yorick's a sustained damage, sustained healing type of guy, and if you take Ignite top lane and burst him, he's not going to be able to do much.
So we're getting really into very specific champions. I feel like we should, again, kind of back a bit backwards and try and get something a little more overarching to start with. How do you guys feel about the tweaks Riot does? Like, especially lately, because it seems like they're doing a lot of really small tweaks. And yes, it's changing gameplay a bit, but at the same time it feels kind of half-assed, if you ask me. I was wondering what you guys thought about the tweaks they've been doing to champions or the jungle or wherever you want to start.
Well, champion-wise and jungle, everything-wise, you kind of have to do it that way. You can't just do like this sweep that's like, oh, we're going to change everything drastically, because then all of a sudden you may have things that just sort of really throw things out of whack, and just instead of doing it, basically unintended things happen. Looking at the Nidalee rework and Lucian rework, so like you kind of have to do it that way, unless you're doing like a full rework. A sweep of changes just won't, like, they won't fly, because you throw everything off the balance. It just makes everything completely random and out of whack.
Yeah, I agree. And plus, I think then you get things that weren't like really issues before become issues that you didn't really expect. You know, like
looking at you, Lucian.
Yeah,
Why you do this?
Exactly. You know, like things just suddenly become like, oh, that used to not work, but now it works really well. I don't really know. I can't think of any other good examples off the top of my head now.
You totally can.
Well, kind of like how Fizz is now like an AD champion. Like, that's not really necessarily... It's not like it wasn't good before, it's just that it's... Since AP is bad, like, now he has become an AD champion, so it's like...
Yeah, I mean, that's not really that bad, though.
No, it's just... It's just kind of an example of how something might change because of it.
I mean, now instead of a Fizz killing me in, like, 0.1 seconds, he kills me in, like, 3 or 4, so... I have a chance.
Well,
Do you really?
That's
Do you
loosely.
Really have a chance?
Yeah, no, I mean, coming from an AD carry main, is used to be like the thing I hate. And now if you dodge the fish, you're good, and it's pretty easy to dodge the fish.
Dodge the
Yeah.
fish. So, when it comes to these changes they make, do you feel they're made to appeal to like the highest tiers of play, or do you think they're actually looking at like the average Joes or the lower tiers like bronze and whatnot?
Well, when it really comes down to it, if they're making changes to the highest level of play, it's going to come down to the lowest level anyways, because it's going to affect everyone. So if you're making changes to appease the people at Bronze 5, like, you're doing it wrong, really. Because they don't really... Well, they'll just complain about pretty much any little thing, not really knowing what they're complaining about.
Yeah, whatever beat them that day.
Yeah, if you're stuck at Bronze 5, I hate to break it to you, but you deserve to be in Bronze 5. It's cruel, but that's sort of how solo queue works. I don't know.
Cruel, but kind of mean, really. Fact of the matter is, we can't really pander to the lowest competitive.
Yeah.
Can you even call them competitive at bronze? I guess I should, just not to be mean, but
Well, they're trying. So
They're trying.
I mean, the
Well,
fact,
maybe
the fact
they're
of the
trying.
matter is, there are no real changes that, like... If something is a problem in solo queue, then it's probably going to be somewhat viable in competitive, like, fives play. 'Cause if you look at the solo queue champions, a lot of them are pretty viable in competitive play. I can't really think of any off the top of my head that are played a lot in solo queue that aren't played that much. And
so when you talk about solo queue champions,
Yes.
what exactly do you consider a solo queue champion? Is it just something that's easy to play, or
Well,
terms
some
of-
of them can be like things that are just really good that you don't need to rely on your team as much. Like Warwick had a lot of solo queue play for a while. When I think he still does probably, because he has so much in his kit sustain and everything else that it's not like, oh, I have to rely on my team to go in. Warwick can just be like, I'm gonna walk into this lane, I'm gonna ult that person, and they're gonna die, and I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah. I mean, like, a huge thing here, like, let's say, as an example, you have, like, a big thing in solo queue, split pushing. And up until a certain point, split pushing will work really well, and that's just because people at lower tiers of play don't know how to deal with it, and you could offer more ways to... I personally, like, in my opinion, think that there should be a little more to help with countering split pushing, and that's just because, like, if you're playing on certain champions, you could just push up the lane, and, like, if you're really, really fed, no one can 1v1 you, and then again, if you're really, really fed, you shouldn't be able to be 1v1. So it's sort of tough to balance stuff like that, because, you know, maybe someone at bronze or silver won't know how to deal with split pushing, but at the higher levels of play, they will. And if you sort of offer things, counter things for this lower level of play, it's just going to be abused by higher level players.
so they really do need to tailor things to the higher level players then, because abuse happens a lot. I mean, we've seen it before with I'm trying to think of some champs that I've seen it before with. I'm gonna go back to Elise, because that was a time when I was actually into the game, and she was abused heavily when she first came out as a really tanky attack speed bruiser, if I remember correctly. And she's an AP champion, so it was like completely twisting how you were supposed to play her, just because the high rankers saw it as an opportunity to do it.
Yeah. It really depends on the situation, but yeah, the high ranked players will generally abuse things to increase in rank, and I mean, you can't blame them. So
That was like last split too. Didn't Caston for a while in LCS have a 100% pick ban rate?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a little ridiculous.
Yeah. If a champion has a 100% pick ban rate in LCS, then he might be tweaked a little bit, and they did. And of course, do that.
Well, the thing is champions will, like, fall in and out of favor, and, like, Hassan's a good example. He, like, fell out of favor huge amount when he got reworked a little bit, and the second he got played in LCS, you just started seeing Cassidus getting picked and banned again. So it's like, because he was a pain to deal with just because his mobility was so high.
It's actually kind of funny to see some champs completely fall out of favor, and then like one like championship player will play him like 2 or 3 games, and suddenly he goes right back into favor and is incredibly strong. And you're like, okay, so why did no one play him before?
Hecarim is a very good current example of that.
Oh god, Hecarim.
Yeah, they don't get any changes done to him, and then they're just viable again. And the big reason that is because if you just sort of look at like where the game goes, it's like really, it's actually really, it's not that simple. It's really complex. There's a lot that goes into like, say Kennen as an example. Kennen will like pop up randomly and then he'll disappear again, like without even being touched. He won't get buffed. He won't get nerfed. He'll just be here one day and then the next day he's gone. Like no more Kennens being picked. And number one, it has to do with like what champs are currently viable for, like, not in terms of like, say every single champion is viable. Like you can play any champion you want, whatever.
Except Evelyn. For the most part.
You can play everything you want, but if you're not winning.
Yeah. No, it's more of a like, so let's say right now a bunch of like team fight oriented champions are really good. Kennen can be picked top and mid. He could, mesh well with team fight champions because he's very good in team fights. And even if they haven't touched him at all, like his ratios are decent and he offers a lot of utility and damage. So if team fights are really, really good, then Kennen's going to be good just because he offers AoE. So basically what happens is champions that offer whatever the current meta needs will start popping up again just because they're good for that meta.
Here's a question for you about the meta and champions. Last split, Twitch was very popular, mostly as a counter to Lucian. Now, Lucian has dropped out of favor some, but Twitch disappeared off the maps like entirely. I haven't seen a Twitch play. He did. I didn't even realize he got nerfed.
Yeah, they nerfed his passive really, really hard.
Okay.
Some of these nerfs you don't even notice unless you're like hardcore looking at the patch notes.
Yeah, basically some nerfs that happen and buffs that happen you won't really see unless you actually like play the champion a lot. So like Twitch mains probably cried.
I'm crying tears as this patch is finished because Lissandra got nerfed. So.
And
it's
the
a small
funniest
nerf,
thing
whatever.
about these nerfs is some of them can be tiny as hell, but it's like 1 or 2 damage off, and suddenly they can stop being viable completely. And it's like, I don't understand this. I don't understand how this tiny nerf can do that.
I mean, everything adds up. They do, because it's like the Lissandra nerf. All they nerfed on her was her Q, base damage, 5 damage per rank. So level 1's 5 less, level 2's 10 less, up to 25 at level 5.
Yeah.
At rank 5, I should say. So it's like, well, 25 damage doesn't sound that much. It's not. But when you go and figure that at like at rank 5 and with like some CDR and stuff, she can use that spell every like 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, especially if you're doing the right Slender build, which is CDR.
Right. So that's 25 damage every 2.5 seconds. Well, that adds up. So, like, while the number seems really small, 25 damage, whatever, like, over time, like, it builds up quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing about lists, though, and champions that get buffed and nerfed in general, if you take, like, lists, for example, right? What they could have done is they could have nerfed her ult, because that's, like, the big thing about lists is her ult's her strength. Like, that's an awesome ultimate. Like, she could make herself invulnerable, or she could just, like, take a champion out of a fight for... I don't know the duration. Whatever it is. It's a lot of damage and it's locked down.
1.5 seconds.
But instead of addressing that, they nerf something else about her, which is sort of the right thing to do because all of a sudden, if you take away all her strengths, what's left? Nothing.
Yeah, and another one of the reasons they did that again was had small amount of damage. It's to lower her wave clear potential, like her ability to kill minions. So lowering the damage on the Q, which is her main tool for clearing waves, I mean that really. Yeah, it definitely affects her. And well, like I said, it's a small number, but it makes a bigger impact than what the number would lead you to believe.
Yep.
That died quickly.
Well, I think it was covered pretty fully.
You're covered pretty fully.
Yes, I am not naked.
Are you at least
Yeah, you are.
pantsless?
Oh, my.
That's kind of a requirement. I mean, I had to take mine off a little bit ago. That's why there was so much wrestling.
Sure, I am pantless.
He's lying to me, and I don't like it.
I'm sitting in a leather chair. I am not going pantless in a leather
I
chair.
do not
I'm
care.
sorry.
I do not.
Why not?
care.
Because there's a thing
He's
called
afraid of
chafing.
The chafing.
I see.
The viewers will hate us.
What, you want me to go commando while I'm at it? No.
Go for
Uh-uh.
it. Have
Not
some
happening.
balls.
In leather pants.
Oh. Leather
Exactly.
underwear, make it a thing.
If you don't want to do it with leather pants, imagine doing it on a leather chair. It's just as bad. And it's pretty old leather. I mean, this chair is fairly old, so who knows what's crawling around there.
I feel like an important change to touch on is jungle changes. How do we feel about them this season? They were kind of big.
Huge.
Kinda.
Yeah, I'm going to direct that to you.
I technically probably have one of the most the most least the least agreed with opinion on that, because personally a lot of people are like, oh, the jungle's too hard, we can't do the jungle, like it sucks, and I don't know what they're talking about, because I never have issues in the jungle, and I don't even play like viable champions, so I don't know. I think the fact that they made some jungle camps this patch a little weaker, like they reduced raptor damage, gromp damage, and I think increased the gold that wolves gives you, and they also increased the damage that the gromp buff gives. So with giving tanks that new item, this patch we might see some changes in the jungle in terms of viability and what champions get played, but I don't know. It's kind of, I haven't played any games this patch, so I don't know.
To anyone who ever says that the jungle's too hard, I was just told them to play Jungle Scion. But, because, yeah, that just
I think
smooths clear.
That brings up a very interesting point, because I linked an article to Meshi specifically yesterday, I think, that said that Riot's actually a little disappointed in how they've been addressing their own jungle changes, because they understand that people aren't happy with the jungle changes as they are, and that's partially because they can change the jungle as much as they want, but they're not addressing the real issue, which is the fact that certain champions are just too good at jungling no matter what you do to the jungle.
No, I don't really think that's the case.
Mainly they said Lee Sin and Jarvan. Well, mostly Lee Sin.
Well, champs like that aren't too good in the jungle. Like, it's not at all the issue. Champs like that are just too good. Like, you can play lead top and stuff like that, and he's going to be offering the same amount of stuff. It's just that when they're mobile and they walk around, they're more viable. So, like, the issue with the jungle is that they make like a small change or something, or if they change something a little bit, it could just throw everything out of whack, and all of a sudden, like, while you're trying to make it easier for certain champions, all of a sudden, like, Lee Sin becomes a god again because you accidentally buffed Lee Sin.
I mean, he's always going to be a god. He's the blind monk, man.
I feel like every time you change anything, you accidentally buff Lee Sin. I feel like that just happens.
Well, no, it's mainly because the way it works, right? So if you look at like Lee Sin, if you look at Thresh, if you look at Elise, certain champions kits just make them always viable. So unless you like really, really nerf Lee Sin's numbers, which would be really bad, because I think he's in a really good spot right now. Because you have to be like a really good Lee Sin to win consistently. So
I just brought up the quote, so I'd like to actually read it since we're talking about it. Who is this from? Scott? What's his last name?
Morello.
Morello?
It's Morello.
It's Morello?
Oh yeah, I read this earlier.
So Lee Sin and Jarvan are still a problem. We can do anything we want to the jungle, and until we fix those champions, they're going to be a problem, which then limits additional diversity. Then we have a system that moves and does some different stuff. How does that affect diversity? Well, some things we know and some things we don't, but the champions stay stable. So we can do anything we want to the jungle, and you're going to pick Lee Sin almost every time unless we make it so that he can't jungle.
It's weird because I don't even see Lee Sins anymore. So.
I was going to say, like, he talks about Lee Sin like he's a big thing, but I don't think I've seen a jungle Lee Sin in forever.
In an LCS, which like generally they're the ones that abuse things the most. Like I barely see Lee Sin.
And I feel like this is a good case of how they're maybe looking a little too much at like the pro plays, because yes, that might be a big thing in LCS, because quite frankly, and I have a feeling you agree with this, Lee Sin kind of has a skill requirement or a skill cap, I guess.
Yeah,
that
like
a lot of other champions don't have.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think he's in a good spot, but at that highest level of play, like at the same time, like I think I said this earlier, or like the other day when talking with Meshi, where like Riven is a good example of this. Where like if you're a really, really good Riven player, like I've seen Box do some things that make it sort of go like, oh, okay. Like at first I'll be like, oh, okay, Riven's high skill cap. Like sure, if you're really, really good with her, you should be able to do really cool stuff. Like why not? You deserve it. But then I see Box do some like 1v5 crap, and it's like, okay, maybe not. So I don't know. You kind of you should be rewarded for really good play on high skill cap champions, but at the same time, like there is no high skill cap champion that you should be able to just like 1v5 on because they're that good. Like, yeah, that's a problem. So
I don't care how much skill you have. That shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, so like win rates are really bad to look at for that. So like Lee Sin may have like a 40-something% win rate, and then like he gets nerfed, and all of a sudden now he's at like 30%. Like he's still a really good champion. He's just hard to play, so people suck at him, even though they pick him.
And I think that's actually part of the reason. One of the reasons not playing LCS is because I feel like it's not that obviously they have the skills to play him. That's not the issue. I think the issue is actually the counterplay to Lee Sin is also involves skill. Like a lot of counterplay Lee Sin is just knowing where the hell he is, warding, and the lower tiers you don't really.
Well, like also if you're getting ward jump kick, you should know to flash the kick. So and dodge the skill shots. So like if someone's really good at landing skill shots but you suck at dodging them, sure you're gonna think it's a little OP, but like you can't just like scream nerf this champion because you suck at playing. It's not really a good thing.
Screw you, I can do what I want. We'll probably be best champion. Screw all you.
But back to the question about the jungle changes. I think I liked what they wanted to do with it. Where, like, okay, because in season 4 the jungle was kind of like. Let's be honest. I played Vel'Koz's jungle in season 4 because you could. All right, like there's no reason for that. It needed change. The jungle was too easy. You could just pick any champion, throw smite on, and make some weird rune page, and you could make it work. And it was a little like I don't know. It just made it feel like it wasn't anything special. You could just do whatever you wanted. So I'm glad they changed that.
I don't think that they should have made it so that like. I do feel like if you go in the jungle, you should be able to like kill any camp without dying on any champ. Maybe. But
I kind of agree with you
should
on
be
that one.
Like the thing is you have to balance like if you're going to be playing a champion like Jungle Vel'Koz, right? I think you should be able to do it. What I don't think is fine is if you pick like a champion like that. You have to sort of balance it out where, like, okay, if you go Jungle Vel'Koz, like, you're not going to farm. Like, you're not going to get the gold you need. Or if you go Jungle Vel'Koz, you're not going to get the ganks off you need. Like, in the old jungle, the problem was you could either, like, farm it up on carry champions and get lots of gold, or you could, like, farm up and gank. And, like, now you have to sort of choose, like, do you want to gank a lot or do you want to farm? Because you're not going to have enough health to go into lanes, or you might die.
I think that's part of the thing they're worried about right now is the fact that yes, you have that choice of farming or ganking, but it still seems like ganking is always the choice you should make, or rather, it's the preferred choice. And I still think they're trying to pull away from that, and it's really hard to.
Like, you shouldn't, though. Like, they shouldn't pull away from that, because if they start pulling away from that, then the junglers are just not going to have any impact.
Yeah. And,
like, if they don't have any impact, then, like, it's literally up to your laners to decide, and then junglers become useless, and solo queue and things like that, so I don't know.
Be like top lane.
I do think that the jungle is better than it was like a couple seasons ago when it was like, oh, I'm just going to pick champions that get free health and get an oracles early. seasons. Like I hated that season. So
Tank champions are get the hell out.
I think I remember when I first read when they were introducing what they were going to change about the jungle and everything, and the consensus was that sustain junglers and farm junglers were going to make a resurgence. So like Shyvana jungle and for some reason Heimer jungle comes to mind. I don't really know why, but like those, sustain and farm junglers, and I don't really know if that successfully happened. Like,
no, and it really shouldn't because like really sustain junglers, they should be strong at one thing, which is just sustaining through the jungle. And the other junglers should have issues with doing the jungle. You should have to back after a little bit. Like you shouldn't be able to just do the jungle and like have like full HP the entire time. That is stupid. I do think that all champions should be able to do it, but certain ones should have certain strengths. Like certain champs should be able to farm it pretty easily because of their sustain, and other champions should be able to like farm it gank. And you can't.
Yeah, I mean, like there's just some that like Warwick can just. Warwick is just he's always going to be able to do that, but that's fine. He's not really an issue. Yeah, like Lee Sin can do that. He can gank early. Jarvan can gank early. I can gank early. Sion can, but his ganks aren't very useful early. But then, like a lot of other junglers, like you really can't. You have to back. I mean, there's some junglers you have to actually back after just clearing like 3 camps. If you're forced to take something other than E at level 1 in Volibear, you have to back almost after 2. It's kind of terrible, but Volibear's also not really considered a top tier jungler.
You leave the bear.
Well, I mean, really, in terms of like Volibear, if you don't take your fight, you're gonna have a rough time clearing just because that's your really only damage ability early. So
yeah,
fling things, I guess, or
I just know I had to do it once where an early team fight broke out, so I was kind of forced to take fling, and it just made the jungle like I had to back at the blue buff. So,
yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about invading at like the start of the game?
I personally hate it.
I think people like do it wrong. Like if you're gonna do it, you have to just like go for broke. You have to go straight in, or going for like late invades. And a lot of people will do it without any information at all. Like people won't place words and stuff like that in solo queue. So you invade without any information. Like if you don't place your words as you're going in to like sort of scout out where they're going to be coming from, you're wasting time because you might be walking for like 5 dying. So it all depends on like what your team is level 1, like who you got. So if you're like high CC heavy level 1, like you're going to win a team fight because you can just pick off one guy. But if you're like a team of ragtag, like I can do auto attack damage, then you're not going to be doing much level 1. So
Yeah.
You're gonna have a bad time.
pretty much.
You're gonna have a bad time.
If you could blow flashes level 1, like invading doesn't necessarily need to. It's sort of like ganking, where invading and ganking just don't need to result in a kill. Like if you could burn some summoners, as long as you abuse the fact that their summoners are down, it's a good thing. Like you won in that specific moment in time.
I like the new ganking strategy that you did the other day, where you clear a pink ward in tri-bush, and then you sit in the tri-bush because you know they're going to come in to reward it.
Yep.
I like that. Playing on people's
Insecurities?
yes, that's the best, because it's like, oh well, he can't possibly still be in that bush because he knows that we saw him, so I'm gonna go put a ward there. Oh, he's still in the bush.
Like
I
wasting
died.
too much time is bad, but I mean, if you could do something where you just waste a couple of your seconds to see if maybe they do it, sometimes it's worth it.
Proof that Meshi is a bully, preying on people's insecurities.
Absolutely. Why do you think I played Nara a lot?
It's more like mind. It's mind games is all it is.
And that's definitely something I like about League is like all the mind games you get out, especially jungling. Jungling has so many mind games too, and I love watching how people use them to their advantage, or people forget about them and do stupid stuff like charge headfirst into the bot lane when they're beating the shit out of your team. It's not like I've ever done that ever.
No, I haven't either. No. Never, ever, ever. I've never teleported onto a board in the middle of a losing team fight.
That's how you win, though, right? I mean, I did that once on Gnosis and turned everything around because Q-farm.
Not when your team is in the middle of disengaging and you're behind enemy lines. That generally does not turn the team fight around.
I have had at least one, if not two, instances where I was left completely alone on top lane on Gnosis, Q-farmed the shit out of everything. They had a losing team fight. They're yelling at me because they were losing, and I was like, okay, I just took this tower, I'm going to teleport down there while you guys run the hell away. And then they all converged on me, and I still killed all of them, okay? I think that's a win. I think that's
We've all had those moments.
Never again.
Yeah, once and done.
So, what was I going to say? Words are failing me right now. So the game's been around for, let's see, what, 5-6 years now? Somewhere in there?
It's a long time, yeah.
And most of that time has been just the regular 5v5 or I guess the 3v3 on Twisted Treeline. How do you guys feel about like the newer modes they're adding, like the 6v6 and the Ascensions and Nemesis Draft, stuff like that?
Meh.
Release date was October 27th, 2009, by the way.
Oh, now who's the fact checker here?
Just doing my job. Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, like, I do like the fact that there is... Yes, with the... Yeah. I do like, diversity. I like playing other game modes sometimes. I actually really liked Twisted Treeline for a while. And I still kind of do at times, but it's completely, like... At the same time, like, I don't know. I really enjoy the Summoner's Rift because... One, it's just, it's the most played mode. It's, played a lot. But two, everything is generally geared towards that. Like, they do their balancing and their optimization, everything based on Summoner's Rift. They don't do it for Twisted Treeline. They don't do it for Dominion. And they certainly don't do it for Earth mode. Or whatever other random modes. Is Nemesis Draft still going on? Is that the current one? I don't know.
I don't even know. I didn't even play it. I haven't played the last couple.
And I really didn't like Nemesis Draft. It was cool in the sense that it was different, but it pretty much has turned into how can we fuck over the other team. And the only time it was interesting is when they gave you like a team where they're like, haha, we fucked you over by giving you all support or something, and then they just got steamrolled. But otherwise, it just seemed like a terrible, terrible idea, because it's just like, why are we using a game mode where literally our plan is to just try and fuck over the other team as much as possible before we even start the game?
Well, I mean, the one thing that's cool
toxicity.
About... Yeah. The only nice thing I like about Nemesis mode...
Let's raise it.
Is that it lets you play champions that normally you want to get to play. And that is it's like a nice change, because when you're playing ranked or like even just normal mode, like a lot of times you generally want to try to take it serious because you're trying to get better or whatever, at least like I am. And so you generally pick champions that are like, champions that are good for the role, blah, blah. You don't just do the silly stuff. Whereas when I played Nemesis Draft, I got to Taric jungle. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Granted, the jungle went anything but smoothly, but it was still a good time. But, that's really all they are. They're just modes for just, goofing off, and every once in a while it's alright to have that. But for the most part, I'd just rather stick with Summoner's Rift.
I'll admit, when it comes to the whole, like, playing champs you're not used to, it kind of makes me wish they would make something akin to ARAM where it gives you a random champion, but give you a viable team comp. So, like, you get a random champion, but there's one of each role that you need. That'd be interesting to see. So, like, it sticks you at, like, range AD, but it gives you a random range AD, and then you get a random support. That'd be interesting. It'd give me a chance to play something new, but still have a viable team comp to try.
Teemo AD carry.
Yeah. How do you like put Teemo into something like that? That's a good point. Like, because he could be played in a lot of roles, depending on
Yeah, it's a little rough because I think they consider him like a support marksman and something. I don't know. It's weird.
He's not. He doesn't really fit any actual team comp. He's just a lane bully. That's all that he is.
I'm a lane bully, bitch.
As for which lane, that's for you to decide.
I play all lanes, all time.
Because I've seen him in all lanes as all roles, even jungle. Don't recommend the jungle.
I haven't seen jungle Teemo in forever, but I remember loving the hell out of it just
Yeah,
because
you
it
can't
was
do
so
it anymore.
bad.
Yeah, oh, certainly not.
In terms of like, how do I put this? Let's say new game modes. Like, let's say they want to make like a new Dominion, or let's say they want to like rebalance threes, or make like a new map that's like going to be like a new competitive map, like ranked and stuff. A huge issue there is like certain champions are just going to be like completely broken in those modes, or like unviable in those modes, and like you can't buff or balance them without risking buffing or balancing them too much or too little in the other modes.
Yeah.
It's like if they all of a sudden tried to like buff, like let's say Zillion because he sucked in Dominion before, or Dominion, like oof. Or if they tried like nerfing Garen for threes. I hate to break it to you, but Garen's not really viable in fives. So.
Well, they actually did a little bit where they started doing something completely stopped, where they were changing maps or champions for map specific. So they actually nerf Singed in Twisted Tree Line.
I've heard of that, yeah.
And they did do a little bit of that, which would be nice. But in the end of the day, I think they figured out it wasn't really.
It's a lot of work.
Time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time in balancing.
And they do have specific items per the maps to a degree. So I mean that does help. But like you were saying, like some champs are just more viable. Like in Twisted Tree Line in the threes map, Zac is pretty much a god. So is like Darius and Garen's really good. But like I know one time I was playing a Twisted Tree Line match and I was playing as Zac and we were losing pretty badly. Like it was not going well. And then I finished my Sunfire Cape and my Spirit Visage, and I 3v1'd the entire team. Like, I killed the whole team by myself because I was Zac. And it was like, okay, that shouldn't have happened. And then we turned it around and won the game.
Yeah.
It's just because that's just how the champion works. Like, he just works really well in that because it's really hard to kill him with only 3 people. So, yeah, I think, if they just stick to one, just stick to Summoner's Rift, focus on that. That's how you're going to get the best game and the best gameplay. And then you have those people who just swear by Twisted Tree Line, and most of those people are of the toxic variety.
Wow.
A lot of people who main Twisted Tree Line, you know when it's people who do that, they're usually not the nicest people.
Yeah, I'll admit, I've seen a few of them, and they are terrible people.
Yeah.
I could see, really, I could see that being the case, because if you get reported by 4 people, that's going to be noticed more than getting reported by 2. So
yeah,
it's just like math. So.
Yeah, there's awful lot of BM in Twisted Tree Line.
Yeah, and honestly, you'd think that those games would go faster. No.
Half the time when it comes to Twisted Tree Line, I feel like it gets stalled way too quickly.
It does. There's less towers to take, and yet it still takes longer to take the towers. Like it just
you can't take them. Yeah, the lanes are way too long. So, and there's no wards. If there were wards, I feel like it would go much quicker because you can. And again, it's a small map, so I mean.
I think it's a mixture
sort of know where people are.
The lanes being too long, and it's for some reason it's just way too easy to hold up. Like, you killed the enemy team, but by the time you get over there, they can already be respawned, and they're just holding up in their base now, and it's like you can't do anything.
Well, another problem is that if you have champions like Singed or Zac or whatever, 2 or 3 people can't kill them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then usually it's you don't really have 80 carries generally in Twisted Tree Line, so you don't really have people who kill turrets quickly. Is also another problem. I think that it all stems back to the champion selection really has to do with why the pace of that is so much slower than you would expect it to be.
I was actually really sad about that because they made all those changes to Twisted Tree Line, and one of their big ideas behind it was, oh, now you can play more champs, not just tanky champs. And I was like, oh, cool, I can play like an ADC on Twisted Tree Line. No, that didn't happen. It went right back to the tanky champ selection really quickly.
Yeah, it's just the numbers game. Like we said, it's so difficult to kill a pure tank when you have 3 people.
Yep.
That it's just.
But it's easy for 3 tanks to kill an 80 carry when you only have 2 champs to keep on you.
Exactly. Yeah, AD carries are like can only really work in 5s just because of the nature of their kit. They can't really duel people unless they're really far ahead. Generally,
They're like Vayne, bro.
Well, okay. Well, Vayne's Vayne.
Lucian can do okay in them.
This
is the nature of the champions.
High mobility or like high damage, like really high damage.
Yeah, CC lockdown, something like that. But if you don't like a Jinx, for instance, Jinx doesn't really have, unless she gets a kill, she doesn't really have any way of getting out. I mean, she has chompers, but any kind of gap closer on like a tank or a bruiser, and Jinx is going to have a rough time. If in Twisted Tree Line sense, because you don't really have the front line generally to hold them off. So, game modes. And that was game modes. Now let's go to our next topic.
Sorry, I started thinking about things.
So Misa wants us to speak of the best skin of 2014.
I was trying to find a list of 2014 skins, and I'm failing at this, but I'm seeing a lot of user-created skins.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to log in the league, and I'm going to try to mute it so you don't hear the blast of my... Oh, you won't hear that. Never mind. I'll hear that because I'm not actually streaming.
Yeah. I mean, if I was doing it, you would hear it, and you'd hear the super loud ding!
Well, it's no longer the DJ Sona login, so it's not nearly as loud. Oh yeah, I got an honorable opponent. So I'm gonna pull up some list of skins here. That I own, because if I own them, then that probably means I like it.
But how can you tell if it was in a 2014 skin? That's the biggest question.
I'm just gonna guess. So. It was Pulsefeed Ezreal, in 2014 or was that 2013?
I want to say it was 2013, but I don't even know anymore.
Well, the Udyr skin, I know the Udyr skin is one of my favorites. So let me pull it up so I get the actual name of it. Basically, any legendary skin is going to be high up on the list for the most part. Why can't I find... There's Udyr. There he is. Udyr! Alright, so Spirit Guard Udyr is a good theme. Or is a good skin. It's actually a theme skin. So you get like an icon, a banner, and everything when you purchase it. It's also, pretty expensive because it's a theme skin.
Was that 2014? Like, I don't even know anymore. My perception of time and
exactly. Like
it's new enough that I'm fairly certain.
They'll say like Zach came out like 3 years ago, and I'll go like this.
Yeah, I'm just like,
I know, right? So that's a good one. Definitely not Blitzcrank is not new, isn't it? It's really old.
No, that's old.
They reopened it, so I'm glad I got it in 2014.
I don't know like
what
skins came out, so.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at that too. Let's see, Infernal Gnosis. I didn't really care for that.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Pickpocket Twitch just because it's awesome.
Actually, you know what I'm gonna say? Just because of the spell effects, one I really liked. I don't know if I'd say my favorite, but I really liked Victorious Morgana.
Yeah.
I like the splash art more than the skin.
Project Yasuo is pretty awesome too.
I prefer High Noon. I really like High Noon Yasuo. I like their Harmonica.
But,
Gladiator Draven. That was a good skin.
Was that 2014? I don't even know. Like,
I
feel
think
like that came out a long time ago.
No, because Draven's not even that old of a champ.
Really?
Okay, I don't know. It had to have been 2014 because then, because he didn't have any skins until last year, like other than his original one.
Draven was released in
2012.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
He is 2 years old now.
Good lord. I still remember when Graves came out. I started playing like right after Graves came out.
Yep.
Interesting. Constable Trundle. I like the Constable Trundle skin just because his Pillar of Filth is a giant traffic cone.
You're a giant traffic cone.
So you have to enjoy that.
I can hear.
Warlord Shen was 2013, wasn't it? Yeah, it had to have been. Warlord Shen.
Yes. That would have been like.
Oh, how about Dino Gnar? Because Dino Gnar is pretty amazing.
That is pretty awesome.
Anything that puts a cute little creature into a dinosaur pajama thing, yeah, that works for me.
I like that when he transforms into Mega Gnar, he looks like Rexar, and he throws a piece of a building
I
instead of a
believe you
boulder.
mean a Reptar. Thank you very much.
Reptar. I'm sorry, Reptar. Yeah, Reptar.
Do not try and perverse my childhood with your wrong names.
Also, I'm looking at the splash art for it, and he's totally playing with a helicopter, and there's a Katarina and a Garandol on the floor,
Yep.
which is
It's
amazing.
adorable. I feel like I should put that up. I'm going to find a picture of that.
I actually don't even have that skin, though. Like,
What?
that's the thing.
What is
But I
wrong with
like
you?
it, but I don't have it. I know. It is adorable, though. Did they do a pack skin last year, or was it any good? Because usually the pack skins are pretty baller.
No, general. I don't know.
Wait, was Pax Silver last year? No, that would have been the
No,
year
Pack
That's a
Sivers.
long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh my god. There we go.
Arcade MF was last year. That was a good skin.
Oh, Winter Wonder Oriana, the Poro Sejuani. Or was that this year? I don't even know. Like,
I think Poro Sejuani was early this
Oh my
year.
god, this is falling off.
Well, it's just difficult to say. What skin? Like, it's so hard to know what skins came out when because it just all blends together.
I don't know.
Popstar Ari was I think
We're gonna
last
put
year.
An adorable picture. There we go. Adorable freaking picture that is taking up my whole freaking screen right now.
There you
Nose.
go.
There we
So
go.
I mean, you know, those
don't
are
know.
those are some of my lists there of
That's
things
in.
that I liked.
I think that was this year or last year. So
There we go. Dino-Nar.
Da-na-na. Look at him. He's adorable.
Nar! Oh, Super Galaxy Rumble. How can we forget Super Galaxy Rumble?
this is a pretty good skin.
The drill that,
That
will
is-
pierce the heavens.
Yeah, that is a very good skin. I think the sound effects that go with it are great. I don't have
Yeah.
that one because I have the other two skins for him, and I can't justify paying like $20 for it. But
You
Very
can't
good.
justify
Very
paying
good.
$20 for a skin. Come on. Come on.
no, if it was on sale half off, I'd probably scoop that up. But no.
God.
Arclight Velka is a good one. That's one I just
We've been talking.
just gifted that actually. Yeah, I mean those are about all the skins I can really stand out for me in 2014.
I'm not even going to try to like look back at 2014 because I got nothing. I just
All
The
the
new Zack skin
Debonair.
that came out.
Oh, the Debonair skins. There's a new Zack. Let me see. Does it look the same as the other Zack skin?
That's my joking.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Wow.
What, they color him? Will they color him red this time?
Your joke's bad. You feel bad.
That's like British humor right there.
There was something else I wanted to touch on. I can't remember what it was now. But
Do I unlock Elderwood Bard or just Bard?
Elderwood.
You know if you're gonna like Bard.
Who cares if
Depends.
you
Are
like Bard?
you gonna let me play him top lane?
No.
Not gonna even play him, but I have him unlocked.
But I think we're kind of starting to fall off a bit. Do you guys have any other issues or topics you want to touch on at all? Anything?
I mean, I could rant on about League all the time, but that wouldn't be very interesting. So, for other topics,
Anything? I'm down. for
Anything?
Yep.
Let's see. I had thought of some earlier today, and I completely forgot them all because.
Meshi,
That-
so useful.
Well, you did say you wanted to touch on the free-to-play aspect of League of Legends.
We could. I
Do you
don't know
wanna
how
still
well
touch on
we'll
that?
end.
I mean, we did. We did kind of touch on that a lot last time.
Yeah, that's why I was just thinking. I don't know if I want to bring it up now because we did touch on it a lot. I mean, it's free to play, but my God, the money you will spend on aesthetics. I don't think there's any other game where I've spent that much on aesthetics or even thought about spending that much.
It's the
I've s-
best model in my opinion for that game, just because like it's not at all pay to win, like at all.
Yeah,
So you can
Yeah.
get rune pages, but without the runes that you get through playing the game,
yeah.
it doesn't matter. I mean,
You can buy as many
I
pages
feel
as you
like
want,
I almost feel like runes should be free, like off the bat, but it
Idea-
does make sense that they're not, just because like if you think about it, if runes were free, right, then you wouldn't have to save up your IP for runes, meaning you can get all the champions with IP. And one of the big things is they want you to have to buy champions with RP as well, which it makes sense because like that's like the big thing. Like there's no skin that you're gonna be like, oh, I really want to play with that skin. That's mainly like, I mean, there are some, but
something I really wish
it's mainly I want to play with that champion.
Would address a little better is they have like lower tier runes that you can buy before your, what is it? I think it's 20. You can buy the highest tier.
Yeah, they should just get rid of those.
They should get rid of those because it's really, really confusing for like new people. They're like, oh, I should buy these runes because it'll make me better, and it's like you wasted your IP because those would be useless in like a day.
I thought they said that. I'm pretty sure I read that they said they were going to do that because there was no need for them anymore.
They haven't done it yet. I think I actually wasted some of my money on that, or IP on that, I should say.
You know how it is. They gotta test it and run it through the calculator and crank out some handmade pasta.
Test it. Have you seen them release new champions? They don't test shit.
I remember the Lucian attack speed AP debacle, soloing Baron. I remember it. I remember Elise on launch. Actually, I don't because I didn't play with her for 2 weeks because I always play Draft Moon Bander. But that's for a different reason.
You let me play her once. Like the first week, you let me play her once, and then you banned me from her again because I accidentally backed in Spider Mode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. That happened.
That's okay because I sucked at her anyway. So.
I remember the stories when Graves was released. I wasn't there at that time, but I remember the stories. But yeah, a lot of launches they definitely test them, but sometimes it's like you can only do so much in the PBE, and then when it goes live and like other people get their hands on it, it's like, oh well, okay, we missed this. So it happens.
Yeah. I do feel like they say they test these champions out and they like mess around with them, but I really feel like they don't. I feel like they don't test them enough. But does anyone really like comment on them enough in PvE, or they just not listen to people? Or
I mean, like, what are you saying in terms of like
because
strong they are, or like bugs?
They release them, and then like the next patch, they are instantly nerfing them, and it's not just like a soft nerf. It's usually a hard.
There's
nerf.
A reason for that, though. That there's a huge reason for that, and it has to do with the fact that they want them to be a low OPN release because
they want everyone to buy them.
That's the big thing, but at the same time, like, if you're really able to see the champion where, like, it's at its strongest point, you sort of know where its, like, strong points are, and you know where its weak points are, so it's easier to balance them, too.
I guess I can understand that.
Because, like, the PvE it's a good sample size, but, like, it's not really a good sample size until it's in ranked play.
And another aspect of it is, too, that when the champion comes out and it's like they have all these new abilities and everything, a lot of times people don't really know how to play against it, or even with it sometimes. Some champions seem very underwhelming when they come out because people don't know how to synergize with it. Like, I don't know if you remember when Ari came out, she was very underwhelming. Same with Diana, if I remember correctly. Diana was also pretty underwhelming when she came out.
Why? Pro players not knowing how to play her were like... I think Saint Vicious, I saw his stream, he said something like, buy for unviable.
Yeah, buy. Gnar, I remember when Gnar came out and I was watching pro players play Gnar and they were laughing like, this champ is terrible. And then like, no. then it kind of caught on.
Now it's way too.
Players at first and stuff like that. I don't know, it's just, if you don't know how to play a champion at first, like, you're not going to really know what to do with it.
Yeah.
As soon as you start playing it, like, you can see what you can do to, like, what's the word? Abuse it.
Yeah.
Optimize. That's the nice way to say it. Like, I mean, when you look at like Azir, like a lot of people were saying, like, why don't you just buff everyone up to Azir's level? It's like,
no.
That's bad. That's bad.
Don't do that. I do like how you have those initial reactions to the champion. They're like, oh, this sucks, and then like that one person finally figures out how the champion should work or how you can play it to make it good, and then it's just like, wow, we had no idea.
And then Voyboy gets a hold of it and they get nerfed.
God damn you, Voyboy!
That hasn't happened in a long time, though. Voyboy sort of fell out.
Yeah. Do you remember the tanky Voyboy build, though, on Kassadin?
Oh, Kassadin, yeah.
the tanky Kassadin build. Like,
I remember when he single-handedly got Olaf nerfed to the ground.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention to it at that point in time, so I don't know exactly what he did. I
like a triple kill and survived like 1v3 or something stupid.
What did he build?
I think it was CDR and health.
Yeah.
Oh, it was those days.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, I remember.
Let me try to find the clip.
I did, yeah, because I remember when that was like the build. You just built CDR and health, and you just true damaged everyone to death and walked away whistling.
2 damage OP.
Oh, wait.
Aaron, you had to leave at a specific time, if I remember correctly.
Not really.
No.
I guess. I thought I did, but I do want to get food.
I've been lied to.
I found the clip too.
Excellent.
I don't know if
I'll I'm just gonna watch it just for reference sake. I mean, it's okay if we keep this one a little shorter than the other ones, just because we have the topic is a single game and everything else, so it doesn't have to be as long. And we never did set,
We never really
time.
set anything. I like to try and go for at least like an hour, minimum of an hour. Like an hour 30 minutes is usually what I want to go for. But
which we've got.
that's-
So
yeah, we're at like an hour 20, I think. But I think we're about ready to wrap it up.
Yep.
I feel
I'm
like we
gonna
should
watch
talk
this
about
clip.
a few new things we've got now as of today, thanks to mostly Meshi, because I kind of passed out for a lot of the day because of work and stuff. But we have a Facebook page now. I don't think I have that in the Twitch page yet, but I will get that in there. We have a Twitter account for our podcast now. That is definitely in the Twitch description. Check it out. We will post when we're streaming and if there's any changes there. We have an email. I will not release that yet because I want to get a few things sorted out before I release that email, but I would like to use that as well as the Twitter
the
to
email?
help. I'm not releasing the email yet. It will be there.
it didn't work.
What?
what didn't work?
Trying to trick him into telling me the email.
I'm not telling
Oh.
you the email. I'm not that much of an idiot. I'm mostly an idiot, just not that much. But I will release that email too. But we'd like to use that in the Twitter account to help get topics or answer questions from you guys. So that'll be a thing.
Oh,
Facebook page.
actually, Spath, I just had a great idea.
Yes.
Well, we were talking about how we need a profile picture for Facebook and for
You want to try and announce something now for that then?
yes. So why don't we make a little contest out of it?
Oh, we got a contest going on now, guys.
All right. So how about we make a little bit
go. See you
contest?
guys.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye,
Aaron.
Aaron. Thank
Thanks
you
for
for
joining
joining
us.
us as our special
For
guest
having
here.
Everybody say bye, Aaron.
So how about a little bit of contest here? So how about we do it, for anyone who listens, views, or however you want to consider a podcast. I don't know. It's however you do it, if you listen or view or both. And if you would like to try a hand at drawing or creating or whatever, some sort of avatar for us as our Facebook profile picture, YouTube profile picture, could be all. We could choose multiple, really.
Yeah, I don't mind that. And I'm sure we'll get a couple, maybe, hopefully.
And we could even do Visa gave us our lovely logo here, but we could always use a rebranding logo if you want to try your hand at that.
I could definitely use I need a bigger one for YouTube and a smaller one for the Facebook page, because the pixel size is too big for the Facebook banner to actually display the whole thing, and it's too small for the YouTube page because you have to have a certain amount of pixels on the YouTube banners. So yeah, I will definitely welcome even just a resize of what we got, because I suck with MS Paint or Photoshop or whatever you guys use, you professional peoples.
And well, I could do that with Photoshop. I'd rather just leave it in the hands of the audience so that they can have a say in it. What we can do is we can kind of do it like, submit your submissions. You can do it. Well, now this would be a good time to do the email thing. But we could also say you could just post them to get into us somehow. There's multiple contacts, either Facebook or Twitter.
I will put the email on the Twitter probably tomorrow after the video gets posted or something, and you can send them to there. Or you can, I'm pretty sure you can send pictures via Twitter, so that works too.
And then the winners could possibly be a guest on a podcast if they want to do that.
I could do that. Yeah, we could definitely do that. You'll have to tell us if you want to be a guest first off,
Obviously.
and then if there's any specific topics you want to talk about, we'll try and work that in to it. Obviously, if you have any art pages or something you want us to promote, I don't mind doing that. I mean, you're doing work for us, and obviously, I don't really have any way to compensate you otherwise because I'm a poor motherfucker.
Well, and that's why I figure I give some sort of incentive for doing this. So that'd be great. Other than just helping out your good pals here that totally know what they're doing for a podcast.
Shut up.
But that'd be cool if anyone wants to do it. And also, I think next week, I don't know if we're doing one because I'm not going to be in town.
We will likely not be doing a podcast next week just because Meshi will be out of town Thursday. If we do anything, it will probably just be something short on YouTube, and I will post something on the Twitter account if we do that, but don't look for it because I'm not specifically planning on things. It will mostly be like a last minute, like, I'm super hyper, I want to do something with a video, and I feel bad for leaving you guys another week without stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can always just watch, Spath's stream while I'm off gallivanting in far away lands.
I stream.
If you stream, that's what I'm saying, if you decide to.
Can I feel
Stream.
for message? I could get like a sock puppet and try and talk to myself, but I don't think that'll work very well.
Please, no sock puppets.
What's wrong with sock puppets? Sock puppets are awesome.
What isn't wrong with sock puppets? I feel like sock puppets. Wow, sock puppets. Sock puppets are probably like just get real puppets if you're going that far. That's almost
see what
creepier.
I can work with
I don't-
on there. Maybe I'll
I
just
don't
get
know.
like one of my friends to dress up as your beautiful kingly picture there, and just have him sit next to me. This is Meshi.
Yeah, you could get a fill. You could get a fill-in for me too.
I don't know. I'll see what I can do. Oh god. Either way, right now the plan is we will probably skip next week, but we'll be back the week after that. Usual time, Thursday, about 5:30ish. Just because 5:30 seems a little better because we have a little more time to prepare. We had to start early today because Aaron originally told us that he had to leave, so that's a thing. So, let's see, what have we touched on so far? If you want to draw us, or just
Draw or create. I don't care if you take magazine, cut up pictures out, and put it together. Just
I'm
no
cool with that.
threats like that with letters. Come on now. I don't want to get ransom notes made out of magazine clippings.
If you want to create us a profile picture for our Facebook/YouTube/Twitter account, we really appreciate it. We'll make it a contest. You can be on the podcast, or we'll just provide you some publicity, whatever you want.
Otherwise, you're going to force us to do it, and you're not going to like what comes out.
I'll just make penises. Really bad steak penises.
That's not what I was getting at, but he'll do it. Don't think he won't.
I'll do it. I've done it before.
I can draw a hand turkey.
I do want to say
count?
that I actually have this weekend off. I will probably be on League or playing another game, and I have a feeling we'll probably stream that or something, probably on Meshi's channel. I will make sure that is hosted on this channel if you just decide you want to go through here, or his Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Dameshi, so you can always check him out there. But probably plan for something, I don't know, when do we usually play games on Saturdays if we play?
Well, I don't know. Usually it's in like the afternoon, evening hours.
So probably around the same time the podcast would usually start. So around like 5 p.m. CST Central Time. I don't know.
And I have quite a bit of wine, which
yes, we will likely be drunk
consumed.
because this is the first weekend that I've had in like a month and a half, 2 months, somewhere in there. And I'd like to drink and play some games and be an idiot.
So it will happen.
So it will happen.
Shall be done.
Anything else we need to talk about?
Spring has finally sprung. That's just good news to share with everyone. It's finally getting warm, people. The snow is melting.
Now you're stretching things. Don't make me beat you. I'll do it.
Hey, you have no idea how ecstatic I am that it has been over freezing for like 4 days in a row.
This is why you need to live in a real state.
It was 60 degrees yesterday.
Ooh.
It was fantastic.
But we're gonna end it here because we're getting distracted and we're making this go way longer than it needs to. But content.
But it's 7:30 exactly. It's been exactly an hour and a half. That was my entire goal.
I will post the email to our Twitter account, which is in the Twitch comments. I will also put on the YouTube video description when I post the YouTube video up. That'll probably be sometime tomorrow. Otherwise, next week's podcast will be canceled, most likely. And the week after that, which is the week of the... Make sure I get this right. The week of the 26th, we will be back, probably 5:30 at regular time. Not sure what our topic's going to be that week. I will hopefully find something useful. But
yeah, we'll do some searching. We'll do some soul searching. Of course, as always, if there's anything you want us to ramble on about, let us know. And we'll just do whatever, It can be about anything, It doesn't necessarily have to be about gaming, but it's generally what we have the most, experience in.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to call it a night. Thanks for coming out, guys. We really appreciate it. And I'm Spath.
And Meshi.
And we're done.
Laters.